being present. At this time, we will have our board chair say a few words for us. Robert?
Thanks so much, Andrea and Ronnie, and thanks most to everyone here who's joining this meeting. It is a momentous time in Richmond's downtown, and I, for one, am looking forward to hearing about it. I'm sure you are too. I want to start by just taking us back for a quick moment. Early 2020, January 2020, we all kind of remember a different time. Things were looking really good downtown, as you remember, and many other places as well, of course. There was a lot of momentum with regard to our downtown events that RMSI had built, a lot of activity and engagement, a great deal of arts and culture, outdoor activities. We had a new executive director at that time and new staff, and new businesses were also moving in. Hopeful for the future, optimistic, ready to go, including Left Side Printing that started off just before the pandemic hit. And yes, you know where this story goes. The pandemic begins. And all of our assumptions about the future are, at worst, totally changed, at best, drastically accelerated. What happens at that time, but RMSI, faced with an unenviable situation, pivots rapidly. Next thing we know, RMSI is serving to do food giveaways, to help struggling families, to bring people downtown for resource support, to talk with businesses on the ropes, help them get resources to rebuild, to reconfigure, to be able to see a future where they can thrive. In the midst of all that, we have a shift at the executive director position. The board and many other partners faced with a really difficult dilemma. We initiate an executive director search in the midst of the pandemic, doing many things, many irons were in the fire, if you will. And during that time, so many people stuck together, stuck it out, showed perseverance and courage. And it led us to where we are going now. Andrea Portillo-Knowles, Ronnie Mills, this is an elite executive level staff that we have here at RMSI now. And we are so fortunate to have come upon them in the depths of the pandemic. Our new executive director, Andrea, she'll talk a little bit more, of course, about all of these issues, but suffice to say, she comes to us with experience in nonprofits, on nonprofit boards, and also with the Boy Scouts of America, and also with the Air Force, serving in a war zone, serving in a theater, a combat theater, with many diverse interests, many diverse partners. You'll see that Andrea is someone of high-level energy, character, experience, and ultimately relationship and collaboration building. Andrea is an expert with working with people, bringing them together, and bringing resources to bear to fulfill the kinds of visions that we are going to need. Now, what kind of vision do we have for the future of downtown? Well, as the pandemic winds down and we reach a new phase, we understand that it didn't necessarily change the future as much as it did accelerate it. We are looking at 2030 or 2035 probably in 2022. This is where we were going. It was just drastically accelerated. And what does the future of downtowns look like? It's one where we need more flexible spaces, where there's going to be perhaps less commercial and sometimes more in terms of services. The mix changes. There will be more in terms of people living downtown, recreating downtown. How is it that we all work together to make downtown that destination? And of course, retail and commercial is part of that mix as well. There's just a diversifying of the mix to a greater degree than we may have envisioned a couple of years ago. Transit connections are crucial. And fortunately, we have something with the BART station and the bus stations that are a tremendous asset to our downtown. Services and health, nightlife, cultural activities, all of these are part of the mix of what a future downtown looks like in an era in which there is so much more technological innovation and need for goods and services to move rapidly along with people. Richmond downtown is a place to shop, a place to recreate, a place to get health services, consulting services, to transit, and to do so much more. We just have to build that destination. So what's another crucial thing that RMSI does now and in the future, along with all the partners, all the enterprises of all kinds and residents downtown? It's to think about building this narrative, to build together as we all talk about a Richmond downtown that is a place for people to come. That's an ongoing challenge, but it's never been more important than it is right now. Downtown is a destination to the degree to which we can work together to make it so, to build that narrative, to work with communications technologies across platforms that make Richmond downtown not just a place that draws the resident who lives there and the resident who lives a few blocks away, but residents from throughout this incredible region called the Bay Area. The narrative of Richmond downtown as a place to be, to do so much, whether it's for the holidays or any time of the year, that narrative begins with you, with us, and with RMSI. Let's all keep working together. Let's support our executive director. So much has happened. It tested our resiliency and resolve, but there's no doubt in my mind that RMSI and downtown merchants in general are well positioned to prosper in a future that came to us much faster. And we pivoted in order to seize upon that opportunity. So again, I'm Robert Rogers. I am the chair of the board of RMSI. I also work for Contra Costa County Supervisor John Joya's office. And I want to hand it back over, most importantly, to our new executive director, newish. We brought her aboard in September. Her learning curve is incredibly steep, and she is firmly in command, along with her deputy, Ronnie, as well. And all of us, most importantly, are part of the same team, and we're all at your service. Thanks again. Andrea, please take it away.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for your kind words, your encouragement, and your inspiration. I am happy to be here. As Robert mentioned, I